Okay, I believe we are streaming now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Hack Shack Studios. This is a special edition. This is Love Shack, baby. Coming to you live from Hack Shack Studios. This is Art Thibert, as always, 35-year comic book veteran, working for both Marvel, DC, titles such as Superman, X-Men, Cable, Spider-Man, you name it, probably worked on it. And on this wonderful Valentine's Day, I have Taylor Grosso.
Hello, everyone. We're already getting requests for an Aladdin review. It's not out yet, you guys. We did a react. Was that last week?
Yeah, and we rewrote the whole movie.
Watch that to hear the Hack Shack Aladdin pitch. But I'll be here to read your chat and your questions because today is a special day.
Today is a special day, a day for lovers. This is no longer Hack Shack today. This is the Love Shack. So coming to you live from the Love Shack. Love Shack, baby.
Let's see. Christ Energetic says, it's about to set sail.
And it's as big as a whale. You know what? I have this whole dish of cookies here from my daughter. And if I eat them all, I will be as big as a whale.
You should go for it. It's a special day.
It's a special day. Treat yourself. That's what it's all about.
You know, it's almost better like when you're alone on Valentine's Day because then you can get all the candy deals and you won't have to share.
So you're not about sharing?
No, not with that.
Not with that. Not when it comes to candy?
That's serious business.
That is some serious business.
If you guys have any questions, this is going to be like, don't get too raunchy. We're trying to keep it, you know, PG for the kids. But if you want some relationship advice.
Yeah, we'll fudge through it. We're thinking, like, I don't know if you guys, there was a syndicated TV show, was on MTV, and it came from a local radio station here in LA, KROQ, and it was called Love Line. So we're thinking of doing our little version, our little YouTube version of Love Line.
Pretty much. If you guys have any funny Valentine's Day stories to share.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
What is it?
I didn't even preface this.
Oh, no.
I'm going to ask, like, your best Valentines, your worst Valentines, and your most romantic moment ever.
For everyone or just me?
Well, we can do it for everyone. I'll share it too, but, you know.
Because I have a really bad Valentine's Day story that I could share. That's kind of really cringy, but also really funny.
Okay, so I'm not sure the order that we should go in. We also have some Valentines that we designed some years ago for a book that we did, Chrono Mechanics. So we have those that we'll share with you guys later as well.
They're very
cool. We should start with the history.
Oh, the history of
Valentine's Day.
I have that queued up. Hold on one second.
Yeah, so we were thinking it'd be fun just to give us all a point of reference that we'd start with the history and how it all started. And is this Saint Valentine's, is he really a saint?
I mean, that's one of the tales.
And does he look like the image there?
I hope so.
That kid's adorable. I like how he's just looking up at the Hack Shack logo.
He looks very quizzical. He's ready to ask some questions.
You know what? He needs some advice. He needs some love advice.
And we're here to give it.
He's like, you know what? I usually come on a little too strong with the other angels around, when we're hanging and stuff like that. You know, sometimes I like flex my arms and my muscles a little bit too much. I talk about myself. So what would you suggest I do?
I would suggest...
Ask her. Just right? Ask questions.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just ask questions. That always does work.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of the gender, I think.
Or if you're an angel.
Or, well, especially.
A cherub. A chubby cherub.
Rhaegar says, that's an art baby picture. Aww.
I was adorable like that child. I did not have the reddish brown hair, though.
It's a little gingery.
I must say, I was always born with the jet black. I'm the jet black guy. Not anymore, but yeah, I was.
Okay, I got The Legend of Saint Valentine. Let's see what you guys are saying real quick.
Oh, wait, we're talking about kids. I gotta say this real quick. All right, you guys, I don't know if Taylor even, I should get these. I actually was a little bit of a child model when I was a kid.
Aww.
Yeah, so there's actually, God, what do they call it, where they do those headshots?
Do you still have them?
They might be around.
Gosh.
I gotta get them. So I have a shot like that, but you know the one they do with the kid where you put like both hands like this, and you
both
look
hands under the chin.
Yeah, and you look up. Yeah.
You know who would have made a good child model is Amanda. She was adorable. I saw pictures of her when she was little. She looked like a little ad baby.
Oh, okay. Oh, my daughter. Yeah, yeah.
Her big dark eyes.
Thank you. I saw a picture your mom posted. You weren't too bad yourself.
Eh.
Okay, so
I wasn't ad worthy.
So you had chat, and then you had the history.
Yeah, let's see what you guys talk about. Yes, cringe. I don't know if you'd be ready for this level of cringe. I'm not friends with one of the people involved, so I can say whatever I want about her. Is winning the love of someone in the way that Bill Murray did in Groundhog's Day wrong?
Yeah. I had some problems with that movie.
Really?
I guess based on that he was such an incredible SHIT that maybe it was about trying to be a better person, because that's what he strived for, so he could win her love. But also, only in movies do they do this. That woman was way out of his league, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I guess they kind of had chemistry. Everybody in the chat saying it was very creepy.
Okay, I agree.
Well, I don't know. Because
oh no, you're going to disagree.
The only reason it's creepy is because to her, the time didn't pass. But, like, if things were normal and he grew into that person over time and she saw it as opposed to just over a day, then it wouldn't be creepy. Because he legitimately grew into a better person.
Right. But
she's not aware of the time frame, so it's creepy because he kind of manipulated it. But I think if there wasn't the magical element and he just grew into a normal person with a heart, then I think it would be fine.
But I always just think, too, realistically speaking, how long would it take you to change? Like, how many years went on?
How long was he there?
I know, before he actually figured out that he's got to be less of an SHIT and more of a,
And he started losing his mind.
Yeah, I would too.
Because he was there so long.
Wait a minute, so he willed it, or it was just he was stuck in a time loop?
He was just stuck there because he kept trying to do different things. Because there's that really hilarious one where he tries to do the date with her and everything's perfect, but then he messes up. So then the next time he rushes through and he seems like a psychopath because he's like, I love kids. And he's like grabbing that kid and she runs away from him. Like, he was there, obviously. He wanted to get out really bad and he became convinced that, I guess, maybe making her love him would help. I don't know.
I'm just convinced of two things. One, that chick was way out of his league. And two, it would take years and years and years to undo all that crappy programming that he had in him. Right? You can't change that quick.
I don't think so. Sheldon says...
That movie's stupid.
Sheldon said, someone said to learn all the skills he learned, it would take about 34 years.
Yes. Thank you.
That's a long time.
Well, you got to redo or rework all that crappy wiring in you. Also, it takes time.
Also, I feel like he was pretty unscathed from it. I think once you broke out of that day, wouldn't you constantly be scared and paranoid you're going to get trapped again? And I don't know. I don't know if you'd be that centered after getting out of it.
Yeah, I don't know if my main concern would be winning over the girl.
Because after you won her over, I can already imagine just waking up and being like, is this real? And freaking out.
Well, what happens once you win her over? Does the whole thing start up over again? So you have to win her over every day? Or does he have to win her over and then time goes normally? I only saw it once.
I think time went normally after, but if I recall, wasn't there there was a time where they slept together and he woke up and it still started over and he was freaking out, I thought. Because he thought that was the key, was they progressed their relationship and then he got out of it. If anyone remembers, chime in.
Yeah, I don't remember the time travel premise, but I do like that they don't do this as much anymore, where there's some kind of weird divine intervention that intercedes in somebody's life, and it's never explained, how did this happen or why did it happen? It just happens, and then it's always designed to make you a better person, right? You're going to get a second shot at life, right? At least A Wonderful Life had a cherub that came down and tried to help him out. At least they had some kind of reasoning for it.
They had a religious, they had a backstory, I guess, to it. Do you think it's just because people don't buy that anymore? There used to be ones where things just happened oh, it's just magic, oh, it's just a thing, and now they don't really have stories like that anymore that I can think of.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe they don't want to get into the religious aspects or something, but Yeah, they don't do those stories anymore.
Draken says in that movie that he gets close several times, but he never questions why it happened. And Sheldon says they slept together, but they didn't have sex. The last day, I think he changed as many lives as possible, except for the old guy. He kept dying no matter what he tried. That was so sad.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't just her.
It was everyone in town.
Yeah, so he tried to... Okay, that's right.
So he had to change everybody's life in town.
He just had to become a better person overall. Yeah. So it wasn't just with her. It was just in general.
Because I remember there was that sad part where he spent the entire day with that old man and got him food and stuff, and they show he still passed away no matter what he did.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I like the idea. I just don't think he's gonna ever get that girl.
Yeah, I think because they made him. It's Bill Murray.
Yeah,
he seems too scoundrelly.
Well, it's weird. He did get Sigourney Weaver in Ghostbusters.
I feel like that was kind of earned.
He kind of did, though, but he kind of didn't because the sequel, right? He didn't get the girl.
Yeah, she moved on and had a kid without him. That was weird.
That was horrible.
I don't like Ghostbusters 2, if I'm being honest.
It's weird, right?
I know. I always thought it was weird because it doesn't seem like that much time passed.
Okay.
Maybe she was disloyal and she was a jerk and he wasn't.
Yeah.
Because he took care of the kid after, like... There's that part where he's talking to the kid. He's like, if I was your dad, you wouldn't be here alone. And he's like,
yeah,
taking care of her baby. That movie is really bizarre.
That movie's weird. Okay, so should we read the history of Saint Valentine? Is it Saint Valentine's or just Valentine's Day in general, or should we do both?
They're calling it Saint Valentine. They're calling it Saint Valentine's Day here. This is from history.com. The history of Valentine's Day and the story of its patron saint is shrouded in mystery. We do know that February has long been celebrated as a month of romance, and that Saint Valentine's Day, as we know it today, contains vestiges of both Christian and ancient Roman tradition. But who was Saint Valentine, and how did he become associated with this ancient rite? And as I'm reading this, there's ads for like dating webcomics that are really embarrassing. Okay, the Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine, or Valentinus, which sounds like a Sith Lord, all of whom were martyred. One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome, when Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families. He outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered that he be put to death. Aww. Other stories suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape the harsh Roman prisons, where they were often beaten and tortured. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine's Day greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, this sounds like a movie, who visited him during his confinement. Before his death, is it alleged that he wrote her a letter and signed, "From your Valentine," an expression that is still used today. Although the truth behind the Valentine's legend is murky, the stories all emphasize his appeal as a sympathetic, heroic, and most importantly, romantic figure. Interesting.
I like it. Except for the martyring thing. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's sad. I like the tie-in of the Your Valentine. Sheldon says, sounds like a sitcom.
Hey, do you guys remember it was Jeremy Piven was in it? And he was like Cupid or something. Was it called Cupid? It was a TV show. It was a short-lived. I always thought that's where they got the idea for Thor in the Ultimates, because he just shows up and this woman is a therapist. And so she's writing a book or something about crazy people and stuff like that, and like their mindset. And I forget the details of it. So her publisher or something says, you got to check this guy out. You got to go down to the prison. There's this guy. You need to interview him for your book. And so she goes down, and it's Jeremy Piven, and he's convinced he's Cupid. And that he's supposed to be...
He looks like he could play Cupid.
Or stupid. And so he's there, and he's trying to convince her. Oh, is that it?
Oh, sorry. Yes, it is called Cupid, and it was in... First of all, it's rated at 8.4. It was on ABC, and I can't tell when it came out. It was in 1998.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty cool idea. So the thing is, she starts interviewing him, talking to him, but she's not totally convinced that he's crazy. And things happen that he foretells. So she either wants to start believing in all this good stuff that he's saying, or that the proof is happening. But at the same time, things don't always work out for him. You know what I mean? So things that he prophesizes don't happen either. So
maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
Exactly. So every week you're kind of faced with like, what do you think? Do you think he's this guy or not? And he doesn't have any past, and she can't find any records on him. So there's a lot of things that start adding up to what he's saying over the course of episodes. And do you remember the Ultimates, Taylor, with Thor?
Yeah, I was going to say, Draken gave a little like synopsis. It sounds exactly like that, actually. Because it says, Hale believes he is Cupid, sent down from Mount Olympus by Zeus to connect 100 couples without using his powers as punishment for his arrogance. And Thor in the Ultimates was sent. It was maybe he did have powers, maybe he didn't because of his arrogance, right?
Yeah, and then they tried to say it was the belt, like somehow he had this tech belt that was giving him the power and stuff like that. So the Ultimates, or the Avengers basically, they didn't question him as long as he was loyal to them and could kick ass. You know what I mean? But then, like, some of the stuff keeps coming forward. Like, this is kind of nutty. He keeps saying he's the god of thunder. And then I think by the second Ultimates, Loki comes into the story, and then they actually find out that he is Thor.
So they knew by then.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Cupid... I don't know. Did Cupid introduce any other Greek gods? Because that would be kind of interesting.
I believe that there's a scene, something, if I'm remembering properly, like Thor. Do you remember in the Ultimates where he's eating dinner with...
Odin?
No, the big guy.
Volstagg?
Volstagg, yeah. And so then somebody else comes in, like Nick Fury, and he's talking to somebody, and then he's like, hey, well, he's right here. Why don't you ask Volstagg? And they don't see anybody. And so
then he really seems crazy.
He really seems crazy. So I think that Cupid guy talks to his father or something, or Zeus or somebody during this story. But I don't think they show you that he's actually talking to somebody. He's just talking to somebody. So it does really at times seem like he's crazy, but at times it seems like he is sincere and he is the guy, you know. And I think she starts falling for him just because of the level of sincerity that he has.
And as Wikipedia describes him, he's sarcastic and attractive.
Jeremy Piven?
Which I don't know, Jeremy Piven.
Okay. If you say so.
Not quite the, you know.
The one thing I will say about Jeremy Piven, he's one of my favorite actors, and I think he's underrated. But that guy is really charismatic.
Well, they describe him as attractive, witty, uncommonly intelligent, and he may be Cupid.
Yeah,
The Greco-Roman god of erotic love. Probably not, but he thinks so. Who wrote this?
Wow, okay.
This is on Wikipedia. It's like the pitch. Probably not, but he thinks so.
That sounds like the first draft of a lot of our stuff.
Reed Blackett used to be an ex-British spy.
But not anymore.
Did he meet the right woman? Is she of his dreams or of his nightmares?
Will he stay retired? I don't know. Or will he get called back to duty?
On ABC's Black and White.
Black and White.
Starring Jeremy Piven. And
ooh, Jeremy Piven today. Maybe if
Moon Bloodgood.
If he could bulk up. If he could bulk up. Do we have... Should we direct people in the chat for just shared stories or love advice?
Yeah.
Or how are we going to do this? This is the weird part of this.
I have
but fun.
If you guys need any romance advice or whatever, feel free to ask.
Taylor. Not me.
You're married. You have more of a successful story than me.
Yeah, but for how much longer?
Forever.
Forever.
Or if you have horrible Valentine's Day stories. I could also read horrible Valentine's Day stories.
Okay, should we start off with the negative?
Well, do you have
Well, you know what? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, do you have a best Valentine's Day story? Or what did you...
Okay, wait. Okay, I tell you what. Okay, we're going to do the happy ever after. So we'll start off with the bad, right? Because all these stories have to go bad and then they get good, right? So we'll start with, like, our worst Valentine's. Because mine's going to be adorable.
As your worst, it'll be
As my
adorable?
worst, yeah. Okay, and then it'll show you what kind of sheltered life I had, and then yours as well. You want to do that, and then we'll go in the best and then most romantic.
Sure. Do I want to tell a cute, horrible one or one that has potty
Oh,
humor
see, now
in
you're
it?
competing with me.
Well, no, because I'm just thinking if yours is cute, I'm like, should mine be cute? Because I have ones from when I was a kid, or I have a really hilariously horrible one that has humor, that has potty humor in it.
Do the potty humor one first, because since I've already staked claim to mine.
Do I have to go first?
Well, yeah, so mine seems better.
Let's see. When I was in high school, this is the Valentine's Day, sadly, that I remember the most, too.
Oh.
When I was in high school, there wasn't anybody I particularly liked, but there was one guy that I don't know, it's really weird when you like people in high school because you don't know them on any level. You're just like, oh, they seem nice or whatever. I don't know. So I kind of liked this one guy, and I also felt like I had to like somebody because everybody liked somebody at that point.
Right.
So I was talking to him, and I did him, like, the day started off horrible because I did him a drawing, and it was with charcoal. And the first thing he did was like, this is cool, but it was like kind of distracted, and then he just folded it up.
Oh.
He like folded it up and like put it in his backpack, and the worst part was that like as I was standing there, he couldn't fit it in his backpack, and he obviously wanted to like leave to go home, so I could like hear it crumbling inside as he was pushing it. And then like right around that time, we were supposed to go to some stupid like gathering or party or whatever, and I went there with my friend. And, like, she was the only one in our friends group that could drive. We're not friends anymore, so I don't mind telling the story about her.
I don't think this is going to end well.
She was the only one that could drive, and I wanted to go home because, like, it was all couples there and people who were dating. And I'm like, this is embarrassing and weird. So I couldn't find her anywhere.
Oh, you got stood up.
And then I see, like, her kind of on-again, off-again boyfriend, like, running out of her car. Like, he was, like, running, and I was like, what happened? And then I went in the car, and she was like, well, you're gonna have to drive. And I was like, I can't, I don't know how. And she's like, you're gonna have to. And then she looked at me super serious, and she was like, because I just crapped my pants. So, I guess she had crapped her pants while they were making out in the back of the car. So then, everybody knew about it at the party. And because, like...
How did they know? How'd they find out?
Because we opened the door.
Because you told them.
I didn't tell them, but, well, I kind of told them. I think because I was like, oh, you crapped your pants? And there was a big scene because all of our friends were laughing. And I just remember there was this one girl there that was really dorky and, like, slightly lower on the nerd totem pole, like, that was there. And then she was like, aha, like, I'm not gonna say my friend's name, but she's like, you, like, crapped your pants. And she's like, well, at least I was making out when I crapped my pants. So you're like, you're alone. So then I had to drive her home. And as we were driving, she was just like, I don't want to, like, have to explain this to my mom. So she took her pants off in the car and just threw them, like, into a random, like, into somebody's, like, random yard. And then it got, well, it gets worse.
Happy Valentine's Day!
Yeah, like, it, like, smacked on the driveway.
Oh.
And at the time, we thought it was funny. But it was, like, in the neighborhood where all my friends
But it was
lived.
really brown and runny.
Well, no, because it ended up being my friend's mom's house that lived there.
Oh, man.
And she, like, called my mom, and she was like, she thought we did it on purpose. And I was like, well, it wasn't me, because, like, I have my pants. And she was just like, why are you driving, like, throwing this stuff?
You don't even have your driver's license.
Yeah, so then she was mad because I didn't have a driver's license.
So wait, so now she's sitting in the car with a dirty bum on the seats?
And she was just hovering over the seat the whole time. And then she was like, oh man. Like, she thought it was funny, but was also, like, disgusted. And the car reeked.
Oh.
It was horrible. And I just remember pulling up to her house, and her dad was outside, like, watering the grass. And she's like, go inside, Dad. I don't want to have to explain. And he was just like, what's going on? And he, like, so then he thought it was something serious. So it was horrible.
He just hoses her off.
It was a terrible day, and she was a disgusting person. But I'll never forget that because that legend survived throughout years of high school. of her crapping her pants.
So was that junior, sophomore? What
that
year?
That was our sophomore year in high school.
Oh my god.
So I spent my Valentine's Day driving somebody who crapped themselves home.
So it also happened in the daylight.
It was probably 5.
There's no hiding it.
No. It was terrible.
I don't know what would possess you. You'd have to be pretty repulsed with yourself to take your pants off and fling them into a neighbor's yard.
And I'll never forget what she said, because she was like, I thought it was an innocent little fart, but that bastard was guilty as hell. It was absolutely terrible, but it remains my most distinctive Valentine's Day. And I just remember driving this beast in the back seat. And they had they had candygrams in high school where if you like someone, you could anonymously send them candy. And she had 5 and I had none. And I was the girl that crapped her pants at the party has 5 of these.
You're people need to know this story.
Yeah, I don't know where she is now, but I think of that every Valentine's Day. And then I was wearing a dumb Valentine's Day themed Harley Quinn shirt from Hot Topic at the time.
Aww.
And I remember I was the only one wearing a Valentine's Day themed shirt to the party because the theme was Valentine's Day. And
wait a minute, so the party was at school or was
it was at another friend's house.
So this is after school?
Yeah, whose parents were never around.
Okay.
So we headed there at 1 o'clock after school, and then they said, oh, it's a Valentine's Day party, and then there was no decorations and everybody was just dressed normal and sitting there, and it was basically just all the couples from school
just a making
out because their parents weren't there, and then I was just sitting there alone the whole time.
So she's macking out with this guy in her car.
Yeah.
And then she poos herself.
And then he ran out, and I think he was laughing, but it was really bad.
Oh.
And I think they stayed together. I think they stayed together after high school, too.
That's love, baby.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, that has a happy ending, I guess, for her. She stayed with that guy.
I don't know if she's still with him. This was the same girl that stole, there's not to derail too much, but there was a golf course, right by our school. And she was, the youngest of a bunch of siblings. So I think she was, somewhat neglected and acted out. And she was like, I want to get one of the koi fish. So she tried to steal a koi fish in, a garbage bag, with the water. And it broke all inside the car. And she was trying to splash the water on it. What I'm saying is she was a huge loser.
Keep that girl away from cars.
But she had a car. She actually had 2 different ones throughout high school.
Well, she had to have 2 because she destroyed them.
So that was the most distinctive Valentine's Day that I recall.
Oh my god, I can't follow this up.
And then I remember her being like, do you want to spend the night? When I pulled up, I was like, no, I want to go home.
She wanted you to commiserate with her.
It was so bad. I remember her mom was just screaming at her.
Wear your pants!
And she's like, what are you doing? This isn't funny. Because I think she thought it was a prank. And I remember the dad's like, oh, did you get sick? And she's like, she didn't get sick. She's an idiot. And they're fighting on the lawn.
That's usually a dad's line.
The dad was always defending her. He's like, oh, she probably got sick. She has the flu or something. It was pretty gross.
That's weird logic when you think it's better to throw your pants. Because I'm just a really practical, common sense. Because I'm thinking, one, it's bottled up in your pants, so just keep it there, right? But as soon as you take them off, you have the potential for a bigger mess. And then your butt is not clean, so you got to plop that back down on your seat now. So you're pushing that stuff down into your seat.
I forgot I had another friend in
and
the
then
car,
also
too.
you're releasing the smell.
It was horrible too because the car didn't have air conditioning. And I had another friend who needed a ride, and she was stuck in the back seat. I just remember midway, she's like, why didn't I sit in the front? I didn't know.
Yeah, she's getting all the back waft.
So she was trapped back there, but that is the most memorable for sure.
Oh my gosh. And what did she think? She had to go home. Now she doesn't have pants, and her butt's all caked with poo.
And she still had shoes on.
Oh my gosh! Like that's more of a flag than keeping your pants on and trying to go in and clean them off. Like, you know, sometimes the only thing I can think of is, you know, sometimes you just have to get rid of whatever it is.
I think that's
like
why.
you're just like, I cannot spend one more moment with these pants on.
These.
Like, you just freak out, right? But you don't think of the consequences. Like, you know, I could be making more problem here than there was before.
I'll never forget, just because, like, I saw her take them off and she just hucks them out the window.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad. Everybody knew about it. I had a lot of guilt by association because of that.
So are we getting any bad stories in the chat?
Let me see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. You guys are talking about this. I gotta scroll down. Let's see. Fair warning, I don't take direction well, says title. Draken says, the best Valentine's Day movie is The Craft. I love the movie The Craft. Remember we watched that in here like a long while back?
It was amazing.
Let's see.
Not really.
Let's see. I just got here. Tag is telling an interesting story. And then Nunya Business says, this can only happen on Art's stream.
Oh, that's right. The poo talk.
That's why I didn't know whether I should tell it or not.
Well, I didn't tell it for the record.
Sierra Whiskey says, I'm going to go ahead and say yuck. Space Dandy says she gave him a different kind of chocolate. Sierra Whiskey says, my shitty Valentine.
My shitty Valentine.
This needs to be made into a movie. Rhaegar says, today she is known as Lady Gaga. What a crappy experience.
Literally.
Skullboom says, happy Valentine's Day. Oh! She clearly gave a crap. And Sierra Whiskey says, if you shit in your car, you get a new car. And then people are lamenting that there was no AC. Rhaegar, I'm dead over here. And then Rhaegar says, Art, you probably should have went first.
I didn't think it was going to be that epic.
It's pretty bad.
It's not only bad, but it's epic. Like, there's multiple levels to it.
Yes, there is.
There's high highs and low lows.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh my gosh, that does sound bad. Mine pales in comparison. Like I said, mine's kind of like, it's sad but kind of cute.
Well, now you have to go next.
Okay. All right. Man, I don't know, I can't recover from yours.
Well, it can only go like up in wholesomeness from here.
All right. Okay. You guys sitting down? It's grade school. And you know how, like, in grade school, you make, like, the day before or 2 days before Valentine's, you make your little decorative mailbox? Did you ever do this?
Yes.
And so then the idea is everybody has their Valentines and they go past your table and they just put their Valentine for you in the slot, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a mailbox. And so
I remember doing
we're
that.
We're all doing that. And didn't we asked this question maybe just of each other, but just a side note. You know how there's always there's more, is it more buns than hot dogs or vice versa? Like, why don't these two companies get together? Like, why aren't there as many hot dogs in a pack as there are hot dog buns?
Yeah, why are they always, like, there's always more of one than the other?
Yeah. And so I was thinking about Valentine's. If I remember properly, when Amanda was a kid, there was always more kids in her classroom than there were Valentines in the box.
Oh, no.
So you know how, like, you would think most classes are, what, 30 to 35 kids, maybe, tops?
Yeah, I think so. Draken says there is an answer to that, but you haven't provided the answer yet, so I'd like to know what it is.
And so, to the hot dogs and the buns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, yeah. Then you always have to end up buying, like, a second box to try to equal it out, and then you have too many.
Right. Then you have too many. So I think I remember doing that with Amanda when she was younger. But anyway, so we're doing this. It's Valentine's. But before Valentine's, like, they were passed out, there was this girl, and she was a little cute, and I kind of liked her.
Aww.
And she had, like, I was just a big Disney kid. Like, I loved Disney, and I drew all those characters and stuff all the time. You know, Goofy and Donald and all those characters. And so she had one that was, remember how like Valentine's would be theme oriented?
Yes.
Like there would be like DC heroes or Marvel heroes or like Disney characters or Looney Tunes or whatever. So she had the Disney one. And so we were always poor. So I just had like the off-brand Valentines, like the generic ones. Like they didn't even have characters on them. They were just like, just printed out, be mine kind of thing. And so, I had the lame ones. And so she had them all out there. And I was looking at it. I was like, oh my gosh, they're so cool. And how as a kid, when you see something, you actually think there's potential for something to happen.
Yes.
Right? You honestly believe that something is going to come of this just because you thought it, right? So she had a Baloo the Bear one.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I was like, that's cool, man. I want that Baloo one. And so I had figured it out. I think I laid down all these hints, right? And so
that one sure is cool.
That one's really nice. Whoever gets that one's going to be lucky, blah, 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 right? So I'm thinking, for sure, man, I'm in. I'm getting the Baloo Valentine, right? So then, so we passed out all the Valentines. And I don't know, Taylor, when you were young, did they have the envelopes too?
Oh, I think they did. I don't think they had them when I was little. I think maybe when I was a little older and past that, I remember they had the envelopes that go with it, with the little stickers and stuff.
Yeah, well, these Valentines came with envelopes, so you'd put the Valentine in the envelope.
The ones I had were always just, they folded over.
Right, they just folded over, right?
Envelopes are fancy.
These were in envelopes, and so, I have all mine, and I'm like, yeah. So all I want is that one. So you're just like, oh, who cares what Dave? Who cares what Janet? Like, you're just going through them, right? And it's like, oh, this one's from whatever her name is, Sally, and it's going to be Baloo the Bear. And I open it, and it's one of the three pigs, but it's not even the cool one that made the brick house. It's like, it's not even the three pigs. It's just the one like that made the straw house or whatever. The lamest one that blew right over. And I'm like, what? This sucks. And so, yeah, that was the worst Valentine's. Like I said, I lived a sheltered life. That was my worst Valentine's ever. Yeah.
That's cute.
Well, then just...
Why do they even make a Valentine of the pig? Like, get cool characters. Don't fill it out. No kid wants that one.
Yeah. Did Disney not have a lot of characters to brand at the time? That they were like the three pigs?
Even the big bad wolf. Like, give us something that a kid's going to want.
Yeah.
Fill it out with your random characters.
The straw house? Who cares? But I do remember, just as far as just to try to equal your sad, is there's nothing sadder than being like on your own, like a young adult, right? Aww. You have your apartment, and then just being alone on Valentine's. So that's the obvious, though, right?
I mean, I think that's a lot of people's experience.
Yeah. Well, it was mine for a couple years.
Aww.
Just a couple years. I had a few dry years.
There's nothing to do as like a single person on Valentine's Day, because like you don't want to go on a first date on Valentine's Day. Like, that's kind of weird. There's too much pretense there, I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that break up around Valentine's Day. And so, like, the guy doesn't have to buy
a gift.
I always thought, like, who thinks like that? That's pretty calculating, right?
I don't want to have to go to that effort.
Yeah, or you break up just before somebody's birthday, so you don't have to get them anything. Yeah, but I think it happens a lot on Valentine's Day.
Durakan says, why hot dogs come in 10 and hot dog buns come in 8? It's a quote, I think he said, from the Bulletproof Monk. Life doesn't always work out according to plans, so be happy with what you got, because you can always get a hot dog. I don't know if that works for me.
So it's all some kind of like get used to disappointment kind of thing.
Well, I don't like the idea of like be happy with what you got just because you didn't get 10, because you're not eating those 10 by yourself. It means that somebody might not get one because there's not enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I hardly ever just sit and eat 10 hot dogs at a time.
Yeah, you're not like, I should be happy with these 10 I have. You usually get them for like a party.
Yeah, I'm usually grilling them up for somebody. Yeah.
Sheldon says, she just blew your heart down. Aww.
I know. And I had a heart on for her.
Aww. I used to have a giant pin that said that.
I have a heart on. Oh, the most adorable is I was at work, and this was before emails and stuff like that. And so my wife when I got home, my wife dressed little baby Amanda up all pink, and she had a big old heart like on her chest, and it said "Be mine, Papa" or something like that.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, and the best memories I have of is I think one year I came back from work. The studio used to be at another place. It wasn't out of the house, and I came back. I got a dress, I think it was a Disney dress, one of the princesses for Amanda. And some Valentines and some candy.
Aww.
And I just remember her coming out and meeting me at the car. It was awesome.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
It's always kind of nice to buy candy or something for coworkers, though, if you are single, says Rhaegar. I bought it for 3 ladies. The dudes and the others can get their own.
Yeah.
Can you buy Valentines for your coworkers? I've never worked in an environment like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are, and it seems like... It depends on the company that does sexual harassment. I don't know. People are so careful these days.
If they're cool and gracious, or if they're like gonna be all like, "Oh, what is this for?" and get all.
It's for Valentine's. Just eat it.
Eat your stupid chocolate.
Jeez, do we have to think any deeper about this? Yeah. Okay, so what's the best? What's your most either? I have a best and a most romantic. So what's your either best or most romantic?
I can't even think of what my best is. I don't.
There has to be one.
I don't do a lot on Valentine's Day. I've been in a relationship for 10 years, and like we usually don't do like. I don't know. I'm not into like major romance or anything because I think I always feel uncomfortable at like big gestures. I don't like them. So like I don't really have like a romantic tale per se. And like I always mix up because of that I always mix up my Valentine's Day stories with my anniversary stories because we don't do a lot of stuff like that. I can't really think of one to begin with.
You can't think of one?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
You just don't want to share anything.
Well, like we don't. I can like
It's
romantic. I definitely don't have one because like I can't think of a single one about that.
So no picnics, no.
No, and I hate going out on Valentine's Day because there's too many people.
Well, now, yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We don't go out.
Like I can't think of like my like best go to Valentine's Day.
So I took Pamela out yesterday. For Valentine's, because we don't do Valentine's on the day anymore, because like you said, it's crazy. There are way too many people. Anybody who does that, more power to you. I just don't have, like, I'm not willing to wait an hour and a half, for a table or whatever. But I asked Pamela, there's 2 that we have. There's 2 good Valentines and 2 romantics. So there's 4. So one of the best moments is, and she said as well, is that she was off at school. So we were just starting to date. And I got all these flowers, like this big bouquets of flowers. And so I went to her house, and I knew she was at school. So I just laid them all out on her porch.
Aww.
And everything. So when she got back from school, they were there.
That's a nice gesture.
Yeah, so she thought that was cool. And then there was a Valentine's with Amanda. And there's this, it's not there anymore. I wish it was still there because you would love this restaurant, Taylor. It's some of these chefs, they work at like restaurants, like that's their day job. But some of them have restaurants of their own. And they're only either by appointment or they're only open certain days.
I've heard about that before.
Yeah, so I got turned on to this place.
You have to have a reservation, right?
Right, from a friend. And so basically they cook on demand. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like they cook for a group of people. That's it.
That's pretty cool.
So it's not open to the general public or anything. So we got a table. It was an Italian restaurant. And so we went there. And God, what was it? It was like, I had these crab, like ravioli or something, but they were big. They were like, and they were all
delicious.
homemade. They were all like handmade. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Excuse me. And we had, I think Amanda was still really young, maybe a year old or around there. And so she had this big old like velvet dress. Like she barely had hair. You know, she had this big old fluffy dress, right? Aww. And like, you know how like they had like little kids like have those big pantalones, you know, like they're
puffy.
Yeah, they're really puffy because they have to go over their diapers. And so she had these big puffy things, and she looked so adorable. My wife dressed up, and you know, we were all decked out, and so we went to the restaurant. And I remember that being just like an amazing moment, and so I still remember that. She mentioned that as well. And I think as far as romantic, for me, the biggest gesture, and this was not a Valentine's, but this is just kind of related to Valentine's, is we flew to New York.
Ooh.
And I got tickets to the Goodbye Girl, which was, what's her name? Barbara Hershey, and of all people, Martin Short.
Huh.
But he's actually a good dramatic actor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't usually think of him as like drama
so
stuff.
it was off Broadway, and so I got a limo and everything, so it was all limo driven. It's weird, like New York City, there's really nice hotels, but then there's nice hotels that should be a lot nicer for the amount of money you spend. It's cool.
Because any hotel, I think, there is expensive.
Yeah, everything is really expensive. So it was weird when we checked in and we're like, where is this hotel? And we had to go like through an alleyway in a courtyard to get there. But it was nice by New York standards. And so I even bought a suit.
Fancy.
Yeah, I bought a suit, like an Italian, like tailored suit. It was awesome.
It was Broadway, man. You got to go all the way.
Yeah. So we're there and we're like, okay, where are we gonna eat? And I think there's a steakhouse. It's called Frankie and Johnny's. I think they were lovers, and boy, how they could love. But it's a really nice steakhouse, and so it was the night we were gonna go out, right? So dinner and you know, a Broadway show and all this other stuff, you know, limo. And so I'm putting on the suit and everything and trying to remember how to tie my tie and all that good stuff. And so I go to put on the jacket, and you know those stupid beeper things that they put on so you can't steal things?
Those like white tags, plastic tags.
Those plastic, they're big.
Yeah.
And they have those little machine that they take them off with.
You can't get them off otherwise because they're like pinned in.
I had this thing on my jacket.
No.
Like it was either on the sleeve or on the like bottom of the jacket.
A place you couldn't ignore.
Oh my gosh! So I'm New York City, and I got this big old white label thing on. So it makes it. If I wore it out like that, it makes it look like I stole it, right? Like
yeah.
it makes it look like I'm a thief. So I'm like, I can't do this. And Pal like, you got to go with this thing on because you're going to ruin the suit if you try to take this off. I go, I cannot wear this thing out.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
So I think...
Carry the jacket with you in a ball or something.
No, I think I found something that I could pry it, like a fork or something. Like I called down to room service and got like...
They're on there solid,
utensils.
so it must have taken some doing.
I forget how I did it, but I got it off and I slightly like snagged, like I had to pull.
No.
So there's like a little pin, like, you know, and they get like bigger, you know, in time. You know what I mean? Like the more, like you wash them and stuff like that, the holes get bigger.
Durakan says, art steals things. That's what we're learning.
No. I legitimately bought this suit, man. This was the heyday of the 90s, man. There was money. And so, thank you, Marvel and Image Comics. And all the fans that supported us. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so it was a great night. But you know how life is. Life always like, all right, we're going to give you a good time, but we're going to put you through hell to get there.
You're going to work for it. This tag is going to be on this suit.
Yeah. And so also, like, the limousine... It was kind of like, yeah, it's a limousine, but it wasn't a great limousine. So let's just say this. It was well loved.
Oh, pre-2000s New York.
Yeah. So, but you can't, you know what, you just hire like limousine service. You don't know what you're going to get. So yeah, so there was that. But it was a great show, and we were like fifth row or something. We were like right there. So it was an awesome night out. So... That was my best. So, do you have any?
Well, Rhaegar says Taylor has the opposite of romantic stories. I have another funny one.
Okay.
I don't think I have any romantic ones, really. I think I was, like, just out of high school, like, starting college. And this is why I said don't go on dates on, like, Valentine's Day, because I went on a horrible date. But I had, like, he got me this gigantic, like, they're the solid chocolate See's Candy hearts. They're, like, giant, and they're, like, heavy. And I had it, and it was, like, wrapped up, and I left it in my room. And then I remember I went to get some water. So I'm, like, it seemed like barely any time had passed. And then I walked, and I looked down the hall, and there's, like, pieces of foil, like, down, like, leading into my room. And I was like, this is really weird. And I was, like, getting creeped out because it looked like they were, like, leading to my room intentionally. And I looked, and the dog had eaten the entire thing, like, including the foil, like, and as a whole. I just remember calling my mom, being like, the dog ate this entire chocolate heart. Like, you need to get here to decide to take it to the hospital or not. Because he was an old dog. I just remember my mom, like, the whole time was trying to figure out the logistics. Like, he couldn't have eaten the whole thing. He'd have to get through the box and eat the foil. And I'm like, that's why there's foil everywhere. And, like, he lived, but he was a tiny dog. And I just remember, like, following the foil and then just seeing him laying on the floor with, like, the box ripped open.
Because chocolate can potentially be poison, right, to dogs?
Yes, it was huge. Like, I still look back on that and wonder how he was okay. Because this thing was, like... It was like 2 fists sized together, and it was solid, and he still ate the whole thing.
Not to get graphic, but was there any vomit?
No, he
never got sick.
No, it was the weirdest thing. I thought for sure he was gonna die, and my mom's like, "No, he'll be fine," and he was.
But he did poo like very sparkly, metallic.
He did.
Because it's always metallic stuff, right? That they like that foil, like bright.
Foil.
It's like bright red, but it's like silver on the inside, right?
Yes. But that was a super, like, awkward date. Like, he was, like, a UFC guy, and he was kind of scary.
Ooh.
And I remember, like, I thought he was nice because I met him at college, which is, by the way, if you ever go, don't drive with the person anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I
For a first date?
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
And I realized that midway, and I just remember, like, the distinctive memory is he pulled in between 2 cars. And the one car, like, door was, like, really close. Like, when we got back out, someone had parked, like, really close to his car. And he started punching their car door. And it was incredibly scary.
Oh, my God.
I was like, what are you doing? He's like, that'll teach him for, like, parking next to my car. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to go home now.
Jeez.
Thanks for the chocolate.
Man, he should have gave you more than chocolate.
It was scary. And then he'd show up after, like, my animation class every single day after that.
Hi, Taylor.
Yeah, he was scary.
Well, after that, I mean, he gave you the chocolate, so now you guys, you know.
I was just like,
you're an item.
I was like, I don't think we have a lot in common eventually. And then he was like, yeah, because your interests are stupid, pretty much. And I was like, okay, I guess this is over then. Thanks.
Well, you got out of that good because, you know, he could have punched you.
I was hitting the hell out of that door. I just remember being like, what are you doing? It was all like, it wasn't like dented bad, but it was enough because I don't think he was strong enough to do any real harm. But I was just like, okay. And I was like, is another guy going to come out and start fighting because he sees someone punching his car like a child?
Was he like on steroids, do you think?
I think he might have been. I think so.
That's not a real normal type of...
It was treated like it was funny, but I was just like, oh, God, let's just get out of here.
I like that the guy didn't even really do anything.
No, he just parked close to the car.
It was an imaginary slight.
Ironically, we went to a vegan restaurant, which was weird.
Was that his choice?
Yes. I don't know why.
That is weird.
Yeah, it was very weird.
That is odd.
I just remember telling a joke because he's like, yeah, I have to go to this stupid drama class that I don't like. And he had a monocle in his pocket. He's like,
wait a minute, and you're weird?
No, this is why
he's got a freaking monocle?
He was like emptying his pocket for some reason. I was like, is that a monocle? He's like, it's from my stupid drama class. I was like, can I see it? And he's like, sure. So I put it in my eye and I was like, say somebody in this room is a murderer. And when he said it, I like made it drop out of my eye and acted all like shocked. And he didn't even pity laugh like at all.
That's hilarious though.
I just remember being like, okay, this is off to a bad start. Like not even like a slight chuckle. He was just like, okay, I'm gonna order food now. Yeah, all I remember is the terrible ones.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
But the dog.
So you didn't have an out? You had to spend the whole time.
Yes. Luckily, it wasn't far from the school, so if I had to leave, I could have left. By the way, the dog was fine. He lived for like 5 more years after that. He was like 20 when he died. So the chocolate didn't affect his life for anybody concerned.
That dog was immune to it.
Draken says, punch all the cars, show them who's boss.
All right, did this guy have a truck?
He did have a truck. Yeah. He did, actually.
Those guys always have a truck. Was it a 4x or just a big truck?
I think it was just a big truck. I remember it was really lifted and I like couldn't climb into it because I'm only like 4'9". So like I was trying. It was all in all pretty horrible. But like I remember going to that vegan restaurant like again with some friends and like the waitress just looking at me and giving me this like sad look. like oh, you're back here.
I had a date gone wrong, and I went out with this girl, and then we lived by the beach, me and my roommate, and so she's like this beach girl, so she'd always come by the apartment and things and hang out with us because we lived really close, and the door was always open. And so
I love the dynamic of beach houses, by the way, where people just come and hang out.
Yeah, you just come and hang out. Yeah, and so we went out, and we were out late, and so I dropped her off at home, and so then went to bed, and then when I woke up, she was on top of me in my apartment on my bed.
That sounds terrifying.
It was really...
Or exciting, or both.
It was really, really scary. And I was like, how did you get in? And she goes, you guys never lock your door. And I was like, I just dropped you off at home. Why are you here? And so, but to preface the story, my roommate kept saying, like, she's adorable, she's gorgeous, she's all these things, but she's crazy. And he told me, he said, never, ever go out with her. And I didn't heed his warning. And yeah, so that's what I got. So I end up, it's not, what do they call it? There's like these pity dates, but there's also, this is, the only reason I'm telling this story is because I can relate to you, because I almost felt like I was being
obligated.
Yeah, like I'm being held hostage,
yeah,
right?
Because it's like, well, like I have to see this through. And also like, once you're that deep in, you don't want to set them off by like, you know, you want to just get through it. You don't want a chance setting them off and making it worse.
Yeah, so I ended up like, what do you want to do? Let's go to breakfast. And so we ended up spending like the whole day at the beach, and all I could think of is like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, like I have stuff to do, but I don't want to tell you I have to go and have you freak out or something.
So I guess I don't know if I've ever went on a pity date where they pitied me, but I definitely have done the opposite.
Because you feel obligated.
Where I've pitied somebody else. Yeah, and oh gosh, she was nuts. She was just nuts. And so there was a party at the apartment, and my friend, he's not really my friend anymore, but he is obnoxious. And I'm kind of glad she did this, but she kept saying, "You're full of shit. You're full of shit." Like she kept like giving him crap all evening, right? So she finally like, why don't you just give Art a break or whatever? Because he was also always busting my hump. So I forget what he said or did, but she was a small girl, so she jumped on his back and she had these spike heels, and she just like hitting him in the back of the head and neck with them, with her heel, like bop 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 bop. And so then we had to kind of manhandle her off, and so then
you had to pull her off.
She was ripped, and so somehow I think I had to drive her home or something like that. So that got really weird as well. And so I think the last time I saw her is she comes by like months. She said she was going to leave or something like that. She's going to go to another state or something. So I'm like, yeah, finally.
That's a clean slate.
Yeah. And so then, I'm just working. Doors open as always. She comes in. It's like, hey, you want to take me out to lunch? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And so we go out to lunch, and she's telling me how she's met this guy and all this other stuff.
The truth comes out.
And then it seems like it's a good thing, but she's kind of really sad when she's telling the story.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and then she's like, I don't really know what to do. What do you think I should do? And I'm just like, I don't know. You should go. Please.
Don't put this on me.
Please go. And so, oh, I'm sorry, to back up. I didn't drive her home. She stormed off because she was mad because I took his side. She was being normal. So she took off and she got in her car. And she had like a big convertible Cadillac, one of those those classic. Cool. Yeah, like she was kind of cool, but she's definitely insane.
But for a price.
Yeah. And so she took off and I was like, I gotta call the cops on her, man. She's gonna kill somebody.
Oh no!
So I actually called the police on her. That's right. That's how that evening ended. Yeah. So yeah.
That's pretty bad.
So then she's like, "Hey, next day the cops came and pulled me over."
Oh really?
Yeah. They said I had been drinking, so they gave me an escort home. And
that is dangerous. Someone must have seen.
Yeah, you had somebody looking out for you, man. Yeah, so I don't know. She put me in another awkward position, so I was like, yeah, you should marry him. Oh, that's what it was. She said he proposed to her. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know what you would do.
Yeah, I said you should marry him. Yeah. Yeah, that was awkward.
Simon says, did you date him for his charm, wit, or just the muscles? None. We went on one date, and I didn't have any dating experience, and I knew his friend, and she was like, you have to go out with him. He's a nice guy, and he rescues animals. So that was why. I didn't know what he looked like until I met him then.
Also, it was a completely blind date.
Yeah, it was. So he was probably very disappointed as well because we had nothing in common.
He was so mad at, that he was disappointed he punched a car.
Yeah, I remember one of the first things he said was, he's like, you have paint all over your hair. It was like on the side of my head. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, well, you're nuts.
Aaron Alfechi says, I dated a Korean girl. Well, I thought it was a romantic date. She could barely speak English, but after dinner she showed me a picture of her boyfriend serving in the military. It wasn't very romantic after all.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Okay, we're in better places, right, Taylor, in our lives right now?
Yes, thank God that's over. I wouldn't want to be dating right now.
Yeah, long-term relationships with people that we love. Yeah, it's way better. Yeah, those were some crazy turmoil days. Like you just, what? I finally came to this. I have some crazy. One time, I should go on Cecil's thread and tell these stories.
You should.
It seems more appropriate there. But yeah, I just finally came to terms with, at some point in my life, my dating life when I was single, that everybody's crazy.
By the way, Rhaegar says that your tale was epic, but an epic story. So.
Yeah, I could have got way more graphic, you guys, but I'm trying to keep it nice and clean.
This is the PG-13 rated one because it's, before dark.
Yeah. And we're trying to, this is nice Valentine's Day fare.
We don't want to go too deep into the tales.
But yeah, things got epic even beyond that was the clean version. That was my PG-13. But yeah, I just came to terms with everybody's kind of nuts.
Well, especially living by the beach.
Well, there was this girl. Oh my God. There was this girl I was dating when I was in college. And oh God, she was so awesome. And everything, she was an art student and everything. And so she's a little nuts, but in the fun kind of way, right?
Well, you said art student, so I assume.
Yeah. So we went on a date, and we went to see Black Orchid or something, and I'm like, for sure I'm in. It was all about sex and stuff like that. And she was gonna spend the night. I had to say it low. It was all planned, right? And so then we're at the theater, and then these two guys come up, and they're like, "Are those seats taken?" And she turns to me and she goes, "Tell them they're taken." And I was just like, "Okay, they're taken." And so, okay, you guys, racism does exist. I'm just going to say that. And they were African American. And so then,
oh no,
we get back to my apartment. And so then she's like, I'm like, what was that all about? And she's like, well, wasn't it obvious? And I'm like,
ooh.
No. And she's like, they were black.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you're a 20-something and you're this racist? How does this happen in Southern California? Like, I've never met anybody like this.
I know, that's so, it had to have been a parental thing.
Yeah, and that's what I asked her. I was like, what are you talking about? They just wanted to sit there. She goes, well, you know what? They're this, that, and the other thing, like all this stereotypical stuff.
Oh, God.
And then she said this, and then she said, they move into your neighborhood and the property values go down. And right then I knew it was like her dad or her mom.
That's something a 20-year-old girl is gonna...
Yeah, like what do you care? Like she's never had any like oh, you know what? I want to get a good paying job, and get a good career. Like she was never like a serious minded person.
Somebody in the household had obviously said that a bunch of times, and she just absorbed it and was brainwashed.
Yeah, it was pretty nutso, and so yeah, it was a pretty for sure thing, and yeah, I asked her to leave.
Probably a good call. Hopefully she's grown since then, because it seemed like it wasn't really coming directly from her.
Yeah, who knows? Like, yeah, if she could get out from under her father influences.
Dead Punk Gage says, holy crap, that's nuts. And Durakan says, Art's friends with serial killers and a dater of psychopaths.
Yeah, I've showed some bad judgment in the past. Vernon Butts.
Let's see. So the white flight is a real thing, says Aaron.
Yeah. Hey, did I tell you? I was just in the chat of Model 316 last night or the night before.
Oh, nice.
And so in the chat, they're mentioning the serial killer Halloween special.
Oh, you guys should go back and listen to the Halloween special that we did on this channel, where Art talks about his real life encounter with a serial killer. It's pretty cool.
It was the freeway strangler, the freeway killer. Yeah,
it's a good tale. We gotta do more booming out louds.
Yeah, it wasn't that guy. It was Vernon Butts, his partner in crime.
Yeah,
who did kill as well.
Equally evil, most would say.
Yeah, but he did rat his partner out. Before he killed himself. Supposedly.
Rhaegar says, "Aw, unrequited love."
Yeah. No. Well, you know what? Life, you meet a lot of people. I always thought I lived a sheltered life. You know what? Like you look back at your life, you go, I had a sheltered life, and then I think, when you start adding up things, and you go, no, man, this is some crazy times.
I always think about I was in the dating pool when online dating was just starting, but I never got into it. And then, I've been with who I'm with now for 10 years. So I never got into it. I wonder what the ratio of meeting crazy people is now that online dating is a thing. I feel like people probably encounter even more these days just because of online dating.
Oh, nutty stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. These were people that I met. You know what I mean? Can you imagine people you've never met trying to get something going based on a profile?
Yeah, you gotta run into that even more.
Oh my gosh. And then there's always going to be this disappointment, right? Because their photo in the dating profile is never going to match. It's never ever going to match them in real life.
My one friend's dating profile picture, because they let her have 5 pictures on eHarmony, and we took the pictures on a hike, is the first one she's waving. I'm not even joking. I kind of want to link it, but I don't want to embarrass her.
Do it.
One is she's waving, and the next one she's grabbing her chest, and the next one she's on the floor, face down, she passed out. And no one that's ever dated has ever mentioned those pictures, and I always think they're really hilarious.
Well, wait a minute. She still got takers?
Yeah, she actually has. Well, she already knows this by now, but she's on Tinder also. And every time she's left the room, she just recently found this out, so it doesn't matter. We used to always match her with the worst people when she was on. So I just remember there was this guy that was super rank, and he was way older than her. And she's
super rank.
And she was like, why do I keep getting matched with this guy? And I was like, well, maybe he has a heart of gold. And she's like, he looks like he's got a tooth of gold. She's like, what is going on? We set her preference to 60 plus or something. Did all this stuff.
Did she ever figure it out?
Yeah, she figured it out recently, and she was she's like, at first I was really mad, and she's like, but I had to calm down after a while, and it's actually really funny. And she's like, you didn't cross the line of sending messages, so it's okay.
How long did that go for?
Probably for a year.
Oh my gosh, how many dates?
I don't think she ever like went on very many. I just know that we'd always swipe on the worst people, and then for like a day we switched her preference to female, and she was that was the one she was really mad about, because she's like, I feel bad that you're misleading them. I'm like, oh sure, you care about their feelings. Like but it took her forever to figure it out.
Wait a minute, how long does it take for people to latch on? Like when you update your... You know what I mean? Like, did she get takers right away?
Well, she kept getting messages because we kept swiping. When you swipe, I think if you swipe right, it shows that you have interest in them. And if you swipe left, it shows you don't have interest. So any, like, attractive person, we were swiping left so that she wouldn't get any more. And then we were swiping, and then they were messaging her because they thought that she was interested in them because we kept swiping on it.
Oh, okay. So she's kind of sending a message out to them.
Yeah.
Well, through you guys.
Yeah, showing that she's interested.
Oh, okay.
Vossen just sent us a super chat for $2. He said, everyone go back Tales from Beyond the Gate on Indiegogo. Do you know the creator of Tales from Beyond the Gate?
No, but yeah, they launched today, right?
I think so. I don't know who is that. I'm trying to remember if that's
Is that the one that Kyung Lee did the cover for?
Is that the one that Pixel's working on?
There's two books that have similar titles, and I get them confused.
There's Tales from Beyond the Gate, and then there's
Tales of something, right?
Somebody explain, because John Dillard says, what is Tales from Beyond the Gate? Somebody give us the pitch. The ratio percentage is like 100% crazy, says Simon.
Wait, Simon, it sounds like you've done this.
And Skullboom says, or Draken says, I'm single but don't date. I'm pretty sure everyone is crazy. Draken says, I'm trying to get my friend killed. And Rhaegar says, Tinder is basically Craigslist but more modern.
Craigslist for humans.
There's Tales, is that real? Tales from the Stacks and Tales from Beyond the Gate both launched today.
Yeah, see, that's confusing. You guys gotta either pick different times or different titles. I
know, that's because as soon as people type in Tales from, they're gonna get one or the other.
But they're both CG books. I'm sure they're both great. I haven't looked too much into it. I know that Kyung Lee did Sexy Girl in Front of a Gate, so that's probably
Tales from Beyond the Gate.
Tales from Beyond the Gate. Yeah, that cover looks really awesome.
Yeah, go check it out. Draken says they're both anthologies. I think they are horror themed.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so check them out. And while we're on this CG thing in books, should we talk about our books and maybe share some Valentines?
Yeah, darn it, I grabbed the wrong one. I wanted to show the one we just made, but now I'm like going, there.
Oh, there it is.
That was the roses are red, violets are blue. My love for you is like justice, black and white.
Yeah, we're working on the rhyming aspects, but, you know, our heart was in the right place. My mom always used to say that, but their hearts are in the right place.
Aww.
But, Mom, they're horrible, horrible people. Yeah, but their hearts they were in the right place. Okay.
I mean, intense versus actions. If everything still goes wrong, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. Should you judge them based on their actions, not their hearts?
Yeah, I mean, good intentions and everything, but...
Don't they pave the way to heck?
Exactly.
So you guys, we did this just for you. This is from the heart and soul of Hack Shack.
Yes, this is our Valentine for all of you guys. And of course, Black and White Remastered is still on Indiegogo. We were working on it right before. We pretty much work on this every second of every day. So like right before we even went live, we were working on it.
We have 5 new lettered pages, right?
We just got 5 new letter pages, yeah.
And 3 new color pages.
So we are... I don't want to give a full page count. We're getting closer. The book is going to be available until we go to print. It's still in demand right now on Indiegogo, so there's still time for you to get a copy. And let me see what else we have in store here. It is 54 pages.
Yes.
And then we, of course, have, we were teasing before, Oodles of Doodles and other stuff, too, which is a 52-page art book that we are going to make available this month. And
yeah, so through Indiegogo, the art book will be coming out. probably either late next week or early the following, like towards the end of the month of February. So we're still playing with how the best way to get this book out, but we thought we'd give you guys some early heads up. It's a beautiful, beautiful coffee table book, compiling 35 years of my career. There's covers, there's behind the scenes stuff, there's sketches, there's commissions. There's product design for toy companies that I've done, and there is upcoming previews of future comic books IPs that Hack Shack Studios will be doing. And it's weird, it's fortuitous that that there's a black and white preview in there and a Chrono Mechanics preview, which are two of the books that we've been playing with, bringing to you guys, to this Comicsgate audience. So we have that, and then, yeah, these these were Valentines that we did for Chrono Mechanics a couple years back. So this was just for fun, and this is a character named Doug. He's a 70s rock god who gets recruited by Chrono Inc., so he becomes one of the Chrono Mechanics.
Girl, you got a backstage pass to my heart.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Chrono's probably our next, the next Hack Shack property that you guys are going to have access to.
Yes.
This is Zen. Roses are red, Zen is blue. Find the calm inside of you. Ooh, very Zen. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, he's an intergalactic deity. So he's worshipped by the galaxy as a deity, but only by the lower life forms. So really, really dense people worship him as a deity.
Draken says, you guys need to talk to Indiegogo directly because Mike's money got held up because he launched a second campaign before he fulfilled the previous campaign, so you guys will likely face the same problem. Okay.
Should we tell them?
Yeah, we've been playing with a new idea to get around this problem. I don't know, should we? How deep should we get into this?
Yeah, what we're playing with right now is that we're going to attach it to the store, because I did talk to Mike Miller and a couple of the other CGers, and they mentioned that your store, because I think Doug did this with Bigfoot Bill as well, where he sold some of his other books in his store.
That's right.
So what we can do is we can offer the art book through our store, because it's no longer a campaign. Black and White is no longer a campaign. It's a store.
A store for you to pre-order the book for, of course.
Yeah, you could buy books, you can buy different things. So Mike said it would be no problem to offer the book in a tier on our Indiegogo store. So in demand, we could do it. So we'll keep you guys abreast on all the details that are upcoming. But that's fairly recent.
We were just kind of talking about it.
Yeah, so we just kind of were talking about it, actually, I think late last night. So, yeah, so that's a fairly new, and we really appreciate you guys, because to be honest, you're the whole reason I made that phone call to Mike. So if you guys wouldn't have given us the heads up, we probably would have launched it as a campaign and possibly paid the price for that. So thank you guys so much for looking out and having our back on that. And thank you for being such a great community and being so patient with Black and White. I assure you, this is going to be the work of my lifetime. I am not cutting any corners. And you guys, like, for every page you see, there's probably 2 versions of that page that are in the dumpster in my trash can somewhere, because I'm drawing and redrawing and trying to get the best compositions and the best storytelling I can for you guys. So just be assured that this book is going to be nothing short than the best that I and we can do for you guys. Writes, rewrites, this thing is going to be amazing. So thank you for your patience. And thank you so much for the support and having our back, because was it Durakin or somebody?
Yeah, Mark C. Expressed concern over the campaign. And don't ever be afraid to give us feedback like that, you guys, because we take it really seriously. Like Art said, like, your feedback on this stuff is very valuable, because you guys are, I don't want to say community because I know there's a negative context to it, but your guys' feedback really shapes how we sell these things and how we create these things, because you're a part of it. And like crowdfunding, the people supporting these books do have a say on how these are distributed and stuff. So we really appreciate any feedback regarding that. And
and oh, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Is you guys are our ears and eyes, because you guys are way more part of these threads and part of the Comicsgate movement. Not that I am. That's not the right way to frame it. But you guys are more go to the different platforms, listen to the different creatives that are working on these books, and I think you have more experience, quite frankly. Insight than we do. So thanks for being our ears and eyes on a lot of this stuff. And like I said, we would not even be talking right now if it wasn't for you. We would not be even entertaining these dreams, like showing you guys these Chrono Mechanics Valentines, bringing the art book your way and all these things. If we didn't think you guys were worthwhile and it wasn't a good marketplace to basically put all my faith in. I've left the mainstream, you guys. I would rather not go back. And so, yeah, it's all or nothing for me, the way I look at it. So I'm going to make this work, and we are going to get the best work possible to you guys. So do you have anything to add with that?
Yeah, thanks for your honesty, and like, don't be afraid of upsetting us and stuff, because we know that you guys are coming from a place of wanting the best. So we greatly appreciate your honesty and feedback on these things. As for the book, it's likely... Oh, let me show you New Valentines so you don't have to keep staring at Zen. As for the book, we're going to keep you posted on what we're going to do with that. Pixel Trader just pointed out the only downside of not having a separate campaign is you won't be able to track it. If you go that route, it will just apply to your black and white totals.
Right.
And Simon says, would the book ship with black and white or separate? That's something that we've been talking about.
I think yes and yes.
Yeah.
It'll do both. So we can offer it as a tier unto itself, and if you just have that one book, we can ship it just as that book. However, we may do it as an add-on, so you can add on and save shipping that way. And if we do it as a tier, we might bundle it with a black and white issue, so that way you can save in shipping as well. So the reason I think this is it is a good idea, is because we can pass the savings on to you guys in the form of shipping, and we can get product into you guys' hands quickly if you just have the book. Even if you have a black and white book on its way, you can buy a book either as an add-on or just as a tier unto itself.
Yes.
And then we can get that book out to you, I guess as soon as, I don't know how
all the orders are placed.
Or the orders are placed, or at the end of that month, or whatever it is. It's all going to depend on my lovely Valentine who just walked in the room. Hey, lovely Valentine.
Hey, Valentine back.
Aww.
Are you going to smooch me?
I'll smooch ya.
All right.
Make sure it picks on the mic. I'm all awkwardly holding it.
She smooched me, you guys. After, are we at 25 or almost 25? Over 25. We'll be 26 this year, right? Years together.
Yes. Well, we met in 90. We dated 3 years.
I mean marriage, though.
And we've been married 26 years this October.
So 27 years, yeah. Right?
26,
this year.
6, I think. 93, 03, 13, 14.
Rodwell says, oh, geez.
Oh, geez. Oh, geez.
26 this year.
26.
Wow.
This year.
Right.
Of marriage.
October. Yes.
But we'll be 27 years together.
Almost 30 together.
Ooh.
We met in 19.
Wait a minute. We were living in sin for that long?
No.
We were dating in sin.
But we met in 1990. And so
Wait, is it only living in sin when you move in together?
I think so.
Or is it living in sin when you're just like doing the whatever?
I don't
The horizontal bop.
hard.
You guys started dating the year I was born.
Shut up! Pamela just hit Taylor.
No, I just hit you.
And then you hit Taylor. I didn't say it. Why did I get hit?
Because you were talking the Yeah,
The horizontal
There's
bop.
nothing wrong with the horizontal bop or horizontal bop.
That should be the next Valentine's we make with black and white. It just says there's nothing wrong with the
Horizontal bop. Be mine. Be mine. These threads get a little raunchy, Pamela. We can't monitor. We can't hide things. This is real life, baby.
Well, Aaron says, I will buy every book you guys offer when I get my next payment art.
Oh, thank you so much. Do we have one more Valentine?
Yes.
Oh, wait, we got to read this one, though. This is my favorite one.
Love is a beautiful thing. Like a me. Be a mine.
Okay, Caravaggio is based, this character is based loosely on the real Caravaggio, the Renaissance painter. And so we've made him like he's really, really arrogant. He's really in love with himself. But at the same time, as in the real Caravaggio, there's a lot of things that he didn't get credit for. So we were thinking that the real life Caravaggio, at least the Caravaggio in the cartoon or the comic book, is kind of like he's equal parts of egomaniacal as well as like he's never really been fully discovered or appreciated. So yeah, we always write him like he's definitely Italian.
Narcissistic.
Yeah, he's narcissistic and he's got I keep saying now I'm like I'm putting
Like
the
a me.
like a me. I'm doing the Italiano accent.
I think he's my favorite mechanic in the group.
He's definitely the funniest. Yeah.
And then we actually have two more. This is the Oot one. And Oot here to give clubs and kisses.
Yeah, he's like your blind date, Taylor. That's the guy that punched the
He kind of was.
car. Yeah.
Oot's pretty cool. He's an inventor from the Stone Age.
Yeah. He's a prehistoric Donald Trump.
That's the way we used to describe him on the website.
Yeah. Yeah, and now we realize that if we pitch this again in Hollywood, we might have to pull back on the prehistoric Donald Trump aspect of it.
Well, it's weird, too, because now he's first and foremost known as a politician. So if you say that, they'll be like, oh, he's a prehistoric politician. It's like, no, he's like an entrepreneur.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there's a
different context.
Yeah.
And this is the last one.
But to some people, there is no difference. He's an a-hole either way.
In Hollywood. From Team 9.2 to all of you, happy Valentine's Day.
All right. Okay.
Da,
So
da, 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 da.
you're going to tell a story. You're here.
What story?
You're going to tell the French restaurant story.
Or not.
Which one? Because we went to a couple.
You said it last night that you were kind of longing for the French restaurant on the hill.
Oh, that was that food. Oh, it was so good, but there was only enough of it. If you blinked your eye, it disappeared. You know how the French food, they do that? These tiny portions that are this big and the plate is, 12 inches across. But, it was so good.
Well, they do it in, what is that called?
Courses?
Yeah, courses. Yeah. So it's like if you ever hear like a 4-course meal or whatever, that's how they do it. So there's, and the salad's at the end, right?
Yes, which that's when you should eat salad.
Better for your digestive system.
Wind down,
Yeah. And then, was there sorbet between all the courses, or were there just like some of the courses there was
yes,
a palate cleanser?
You're right. You clear your palate between all courses.
Yeah.
And different wines. We had different wines with, a glass with each different thing. It was awesome.
You guys are making me hungry.
Yeah, and just remember who that guy that took you there for the romantic French meal. Yeah. This guy right here.
Yeah, the same guy that...
No, why? What the heck? You can go now. So I can say bad things about you.
I was just going to tease you about the helium balloon.
Oh, so what happened with the helium balloon?
Remember, it was one of our anniversaries, and I had those long-stemmed chocolate chip cookies that were in the shape of hearts mailed to you.
Aww.
And they had helium balloons.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then I called to see if he got them, and he's talking like Porky Pig. He was inhaling the helium from the balloon.
Well, you gotta.
Well, I wanted you to know that I was enjoying the balloons. Jeez.
Man, helium hurts your head, though.
Oh, it didn't hurt my
It
head.
gives you a headache.
I was laughing out loud so hard. You enjoyed it.
Thanks for the cookies.
These flowers are long stem and gorgeous. I'll see you later on our date to the French restaurant.
Hilarious.
Eating the chocolate chip cookies.
Eating French bread.
Well, I'm going back. Everybody, I want to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're all super happy.
Aw.
Yeah, and have the romantic time of your life.
Especially if it's alone.
What? Okay.
I would enjoy it.
Right now you would enjoy it?
I need some time to myself.
Wait a minute, what do you guys have planned?
I think we're just going to dinner. I wanted to work more. That's why.
So do you guys have reservations, I hope?
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We better cut this live chat short so you can go stand in line.
I don't know. Maybe you'll get Grubhub or something.
Grubhub, that'd be cool.
Have you guys seen, well, because you're watching a YouTube video now, if our ads are active, that Grubhub commercial, that woman annoys me. She's so smug. Have you seen her?
She's smugless.
She has like a deep, like husky, sexy voice, and she's about to make dinner, and then like she orders food, and she goes, what did she say? I'm a chef. You could be a chef too. I've seen that commercial through like in front of every single one of our videos when I go back to watch it.
You could be a chef too.
It was before the last Kiss Corner. I'm like, what demographic do they think this is?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, speaking of that, just stream of consciousness, we have a new intro for Kiss Corner. Taylor put it together. It is awesome, you guys. So tune in for Kiss Corner. We're not sure the time yet, but we'll probably post it up on Twitter, and all of our social media will have that. So
are we doing one tomorrow?
I'm pretty sure we are.
I got to connect with them. Stay tuned for Kiss Corner
because
tomorrow.
Scott's going to do his review. He saw the show.
Yes, that's right. That'll be cool. We got some footage queued up. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, so Scott went and did some film work and got some still footage. He's in the nosebleeds, but they still look pretty amazing from the ones I saw.
They do.
That's a huge show. So even though it's a big stadium, you might have nosebleeds. I think you're still going to have a good shot at the stage because it's so big.
We got a lot of cool stuff to show. We should also show that footage. I'm not going to spoil it, but the funny one I showed you this morning.
The funny one.
The pyrotechnics video.
Of the Kiss Corner?
I can't reveal it because it'll spoil
everything. Wait a
everything.
minute. I don't know if I saw it.
The video of Paul.
No. Oh, I got to see it after this. I saw the one from last night.
Oh, you guys will see it tomorrow. I don't want to spoil it because if I describe it, it'll say exactly what it is. But tune in for Kiss Corner. It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And so, like I said, check our Twitter. Check my Twitter. You don't have a Twitter, right?
I don't have a Twitter.
But Taylor posts up on her Facebook and Instagram. And where else do you post?
Facebook, Instagram. That's about it.
Okay, so it'll probably be up in those two places as far as hers. Mine the same.
I post in the Kiss groups if you guys are a part of those.
Yeah, definitely Kiss groups are cool.
Boy, did they ever get mad.
With what?
They were like infighting about the last episode if you guys didn't watch it. And go ahead and go back and watch it if you're curious. I think it was a good one. We talked about the lip syncing controversy.
Oh, okay.
And it caused quite a rift in the Kiss groups of people who A, cared about it, or B, militantly didn't care about it and were angry if you even brought it up. So we caused like a civil war in their comments section.
So mission accomplished.
But you can see where we weigh in if you watch that last video.
And we'll probably start some more crap tomorrow. More controversy will ensue.
Probably.
Oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about now. Because there's two funny things.
Yeah, they're not going to be
happy okay,
about
you guys have to tune in tomorrow because this thing... oh God, I can't say anything. It'll be great. It'll be great. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. So we did that. Talked about the books a little bit. We got a little bit of a romantic story from Pamela.
Aww.
And, I got to sum up. Just tonight, you told your plans are going to be either Grubhub, which, by the way, I don't know. On Valentine's Day, just eating at home, having food delivered sounds...
It's so much better.
It sounds pretty darn good right now. But what my wife does, what we do now, this is our annual, and I think probably 3 years, 4 years into our daughter being born, we stopped going out because it's kind of...
Crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of a hassle. So what Pamela started doing is she started cooking meals at home. But my wife is semi-gourmet. Like, she does not just... This is not just normal, like...
I wouldn't even say semi. I'd say totally.
Yeah. It's really, really good. And so we started having, like, little picnics in front of the fireplace. You know, so we'd have, like, a little blanket out. And so we'd have our wine, and she'd cook meals. And so that's when Amanda was young. So she would... You know, because... You know, you play with kids. When you have kids, like young kids, you're on the floor a lot. Like
you're
like, as an adult, you're like on the floor. So it seems okay to just be eating meals off the floor.
It's comfy.
Yeah. And so we used to do that. So then as she started getting older, they'd be more like candlelit in the kitchen, you know, in the dining room. And so now Amanda's old enough, she actually helps prepare the meals with my wife. And so now the meal of choice is... lobster tails.
Yum.
And I think we have crab and, is it crab legs as well? Because I think Amanda likes crab legs. Pamela likes both. I like both, but I prefer lobster.
You guys are eating good tonight.
Yeah, and so Pamela creates this, it's not just garlic butter, but it's crazy garlic butter. I can't even describe it. It's so good.
You have to take a picture of it and put it on Instagram tonight.
Yeah, it is so darn good. So anyways, that's what we're going to do tonight. And thank you so much, you guys, for letting us share this with you. This was a lot of fun. Go out, squeeze your loved one, find a new loved one. Go out, take a chance on dating a wackadoo. Because at the very least, you'll have a story to podcast, 20 years later. Or in your case, Taylor, 5 years, 10 years later.
I would say 11.
Yeah, 11 years.
And tell us your stories in the comments. We do read the comments after the initial live stream. And if you're going back and you're watching this when it wasn't live, tell us your stories in the comments for sure.
Yeah, and please like, and so even the comments help us with YouTube, right?
Yes, it definitely helps keep the video active. If you guys want to give us a thumbs up, help boost our views, it helps the channel. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. I know there's a major problem in YouTube right now where a lot of people aren't getting notifications, and I've been getting notifications from people I am not subscribed to, which is really weird, and I guess that's common. So yeah, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any of our random live streams like this, and join us for Kiss Corner tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks again, you guys. Happy Valentines, and I hope you like the Chrono Valentines. Thanks for letting us share those with you. And like I said, go out and squeeze a stranger.
Bye, you guys.